What's up guys, I'm Jacob Suggs, and welcome back to a very long overdue Cloverfield analysis video. I kinda have a new setup here. It's Easter Sunday, I'm very excited for today, but I figured I'd take a couple minutes out of my day to talk about Cloverfield with you all, because I have a theory that no one has discussed that I think is honestly gonna blow your mind. Now, even before I say this, I'm gonna have to put out a disclaimer, as some of you are just going to discredit me and think I'm a moron, but I feel like if you sincerely hear me out, you're gonna believe in this theory too, and I think that it opens up the door for several other theories, which I'd love to hear down in the comments below. Now, it's no secret that John Goodman's performance as Howard in 10 Cloverfield Lane was great. I mean, honestly, one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my life. However, what I'm about to say is going to completely blow your mind, and it's gonna change the game. All of John Goodman's filmography connects to the Cloverfield universe. John Goodman plays Dan on Roseanne, which actually just started airing on TV again, and people are just really fired up about it because, you know, it supports Trump. Everybody loves the guy. The show, I've heard, is great, getting a lot of positivity, just a really great show overall. However, not only is the new show a prequel to 10 Cloverfield Lane, but the old show as well, and the older seasons of this show are actually a prequel to 10 Cloverfield Lane in the form of a TV series, and honestly, I didn't know that I wanted that, but if you watch Roseanne, I mean, the clues are just everywhere, and it's perfectly laid out for us. Now, you might be wondering, but Jacob, you know, John Goodman's named Dan in Roseanne and named Howard in 10 Cloverfield Lane, so how exactly, why does it make sense that the names are different? That just doesn't add up for me. Well, the simple solution to that is, this is all before the events of the Cloverfield paradox, before the particle accelerator went insane and stuff like that. It's before all of that, so it would make sense to me, and I feel like it does validate this theory that all of the names would be different and, you know, might change and things might go south after the events of the Cloverfield paradox, which we all know basically changed everything and is the greatest film ever made. So maybe Howard wasn't always Howard, but was once Dan. But here's where things get really cool, and I feel like this theory connects Roseanne to the Cloverfield universe in a way that is insane. If you rearrange the letters in Dan, it spells out Tagruwado, which we all know is the fictional organization between the Cloverfield universe, and is just a really awesome Easter egg and connection for the fans. I just think that it's really awesome, you know? But let's move on to his film career, because John Goodman's most iconic film role that he ever played was none other than Fred Flintstone, in which the character in the prehistoric cartoon's first live-action cinematic outing, which is in itself a really great movie. Flintstones, can't recommend it enough, 10 out of 10, would Flintstone again. But what you probably didn't know is that Fred Flintstone's iconic catchphrase, "Yabba Dabba Doo," can be deciphered to actually state, "I love you, Megan. Yabba Dabba." Now, Megan was Howard's daughter that was taken away from him before the events of 10 Cloverfield Lane, and might have been the breaking point that drove Howard insane. Now, it's still unknown what Yabba Dabba actually means, but several have stated that they believe the phrase to be a military operation that the US government used to combat the aliens in 10 Cloverfield Lane. Similar to Operation Hammerdown in Cloverfield, where they bombed the monster, but Operation Yabba Dabba, we're not entirely sure of all of that, but we know that it is connected to the Cloververse, and we know that maybe Michelle is driving to contact other people involved with the Yabba Dabba crew at the end of that movie, which I think is a really cool touch. Dan Trachtenberg would love if you could, you know, confirm this, would be great. Also, the ARG for the Flintstones film fills in some of the gaps here, and link to the ARG website down in the description below if you're curious for more information about all of this. Finally, the last film that I want to mention here, and like I said, I don't want to cover everything in this video because, like I said, it would take forever. However, the last film that I want to cover is The Monuments Men, which takes place in World War II and also features John Goodman. But you know what else is in World War II? Boom! Overlord, the new Bad Robot movie coming out this October. We don't know much about it, but for all we know, maybe John Goodman's film from The Monuments Men could actually make an appearance in this film, which I think could be really awesome. Maybe Goodman's character in that film is Howard's grandfather, or yet another relative like his brother Mark, who's seen in the Cloverfield paradox. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jacob. If Goodman dies in some of his movies or shows, then how does that film still connect to the Cloververse? Well, for one, he's not playing Howard in every single movie. I mean, that would just be ridiculous. We've already got 10 Cloverfield Lane and Roseanne as a prequel series, so that's just beside the point. And two, all of his films take place in a different universe for the most part, as all of the Cloverfield movies take place in different worlds or universes in one theory, and I feel like that theory is solidified here. You know, with a bunch of movies like this that connect to a singular universe and a much larger universe than we initially thought it was, I feel like it really makes sense for different Earths and planets and stuff for these films to take place on, so it just makes sense to me. I guess it's important to remember that John Goodman, no matter what he is in, is always connected to Cloverfield in one way or another. And JJ Abrams always has connections planned where we might not expect them, and sometimes, believe it or not, those connections are so strong that he builds a universe years before it even began in 2008. That is just insane to me. I love how JJ Abrams is so brilliant that he crafted this entire universe through a span of several years and through one actor's filmography. That is just incredible to me. That's never been done before in cinema, and I think it makes Cloverfield a landmark name. It's truly commendable work and honestly why I love this universe. But there's one final thing that I want to mention. It's the biggest clue yet, and it's John's last name. Goodman. This is the biggest thing that we can use to validate that all of these films connect, and hints at the fact that for all of his troubles, perhaps Howard is, after all, a good man. And maybe Howard's relatives are all connected into this universe for a reason. And maybe the reason that John Goodman is in so many historical biopics and stuff like that, and different films like the Flintstones, is that it's showing us the Cloververse at different times in history and how things are changing. And I just think that it's insane, and Howard is not a bad guy. Maybe Howard is actually the protagonist of 10 Cloverfield Lane, and we've had it wrong this entire time. I mean, screw Michelle. Howard was generous to let her in, and she ran away. Screw Emmett. Emmett just kind of came in, he tried to get there, but he died. Howard shot him because he knew he was a traitor. That being said, I say that we use the hashtag #FreeHoward, and hashtag #StandWithStambler to show our support. Put it on Twitter, get it trending, hashtag #StandWithStambler. What do you think about this theory? Do you love this theory, or do you love this theory? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always, I'm Frame by Frame. Remember the name, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.